Hey everyone, welcome to my thought leadership series on the deeply formed team. I got inspired by this author, Rich Villodas, who wrote a book called The Deeply Formed Life. And I'm reading it to just do some personal examination. And it really made me think about, what sort of examination has to be done for teams to be deeply formed? Because a deeply formed team is a highly productive and inclusive team. And what might be the elements of creating a deeply formed team that allows organizations to meet their OKRs? Because everyone right now is running fast, hard charging, trying to get stuff done. And sometimes we just need to take a moment to really be intentional around what we want to do for our teams as leaders and what is actually necessary in order for our teams to have a high level of productivity. So, this is part one of a three-part series, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The deeply formed team has three components to it. It's to establish a true north, to know your talent mix, and then to build psychological safety. So today we're going to talk about, how do you establish your true north? How do you establish the vision for your team? Because we can put a goal down on paper, but I kid you not, if you have not created a true north for your team, they're not going to know what they're supposed to do. They're not necessarily going to understand how we achieve the OKRs in an organization. They're not going to necessarily know what success looks like. Having something written on a piece of paper doesn't articulate an actual vision. So, a vision session, which is what Epic Inclusion Solutions provides, is this curated, intimate opportunity for leaders and teams to come together to talk about, what does success look like in reality? And then, how does each person on the team contribute to that success? And that's necessary because oftentimes people don't see themselves with the end in mind. So they need to have a little support. They need to have a little bit more direction and insight on how to achieve a shared vision. And then lastly, people need to know that their people strategy is linked to the business strategy. So Epic Inclusion Solutions provides those insights around the human capital experience at work that allows you to be able to enhance your vision. So, how do we go about doing that? It's very pragmatic and very practical. We use a methodology in Six Sigma called DMAIC methodology. And with that level of intentionality, you're able to do what we call defect measuring. You're able to see what are all the puts and takes and the holes in your strategy that would prevent you or create a barrier from you actually meeting your objectives and key results. So we define first, what is the nature of the problem? What are we trying to solve? What are we trying to solution? What objective are we trying to meet? How do we measure it? And then we analyze it. Then we look to see if there's any improvements around it or changes that need to happen. And then we put in controls to make sure that we can sustain the thing that we've just solved. So this level of intentionality is very much needed right now because the workforce is having a bit of a crisis. The Gallup report just came out, the 2024 workforce report on Gallup came out, and it said some pretty alarming things around why teams and leaders may be challenged. It's saying that 62% of global employees are disengaged, 62%. That 15% are actively undermining the organization. That's pretty troubling. Can you imagine if 15% of your employees are actually working against you intentionally? 58% are struggling with overall well being, and 41% are reporting significant increases in stress. So, this is a real important time for leaders and leadership styles to be really intentional. And so, by providing a true north and having a vision around what you want to get done and how you want it to get done, is the first part in creating that deeply formed team. So, stay in touch with me, reach out to me on LinkedIn, book an appointment. Let's just chat and have an opportunity to sit down and talk through how Epic Inclusion Solutions can help you to meet your true north.